and it is now time to move on to the next item of business. But before we move to decision time, I would like to return to the points of order raised earlier. The First Minister has requested the opportunity to respond to the points raised. First Minister.
Presiding Officer. Now, in response to the points of order made earlier this afternoon, I'd like to clarify the Government's position regarding college funding that members have drawn attention to. First Minister's questions earlier this afternoon, I quoted a figure of £545 million for the year 2011-12 in revenue funding for the colleges. The figure I used was provided to me. It was used in good faith. However, it failed to take account of budget revisions to college funding. There was no intention to mislead. Indeed, this can be seen and demonstrated by the fact that the Cabinet Secretary for Education, in a letter to the Education Committee on 18th October, set out the correct figures. These are £555.7 million in 2011-12, £546.4 million in 2012-13. The difference in these figures is £9.3 million, which equates to 1.7% of the £500 million 2011-12 college budget. I'll place the table I was quoting from into Spice, and members will see if the various figures I quoted, it was only the 2011-12 figure which was incorrect. The figures I quoted for this year and for next were correct. Let me turn to the point made about the Audit Scotland report. The figure Audit Scotland used in the report of 18th October for 2011-12 excludes the budget revisions made after the spending review was published. Also, we have yet to announce revisions for 2014-15, if any, and therefore, by definition, it is not possible to calculate what the final position will be. However, the comparison can be made between the 3 years that are set out in the Education Secretary's letter to the Committee of the 23rd of October. Now, I can confirm that the Cabinet Secretary will shortly write to the Presiding Officer, apologising and making clear his own regret using the same figure as a basis for an answer to Mr Malik on the 28th of June. Deputy Presiding Officer, let me make it clear I take full responsibility for what I say in this chamber, and therefore I've taken this earliest opportunity to correct the figure. The figure should have been £556 million, not £545 million, and I apologise to the Chamber for this error.
Yes. Thank you very much. The next item of business. Joanne Lamont, point of order.
The statement that the First Minister has just made, frankly, is astonishing and cannot be left to lie in the way that it has done. Because the politics of this is that the contempt that Alex Salmond shows every day for the Scottish people and our Parliament is breathtaking. Every day, truth seems to give way to the soundbite, facts come second to the put-down, and the interest of the Scottish people comes second to the interest of Alex Salmond's career. Because can we be clear that when we had our debate this afternoon, Alex Salmond didn't happen to mention a figure. He accused me of being wrong in my establishing that Mike Russell had misled this Parliament when he said there were no cuts in the relevant period. He didn't accidentally go from one column to another. He went from one column to another to establish his contention that his government had not cut college funding. Now, we hear a lot about the First Minister's position on education, but the substance of what was being told today
Would you come to the point of order,
that there was no consequences to his position in education, and our contention that his position is to attack further education. We have a problem because the backbenchers, presiding officer,
Lamont, please,
and
would you come to
my point.
Well, I'd be grateful if you would.
We're coming to the point. SNP
please
backbenchers.
Do.
I would ask the presiding officer to understand how serious this is. The backbenchers do not allow the committees to scrutinise what is said. He does not scrutinise what the First Minister says. He said to say something in direct contradiction to what his own Education Minister said. And the reality is, the presiding officer must act. I ask him again to look at this. Because the fact of the matter is that after the European debacle, after this, how can we ever believe a word Alex Salmond says
had
again?
enough, Ms Salmond. I
My
think we've had enough.
point of order is this. My point of order is this. How will the presiding officer act to protect the democracy of this Parliament against the arrogance of the government?
Thank you. Order! As I have said before, members are aware that the veracity and content of the First Minister's statements and responses to questions are matters for the Ministerial Code. As such, it is for the First Minister to respond to any complaint that is made under the Ministerial Code. It is not a matter for me, and he has made a statement now. So we will now move to the next item of business, which is decision time. And there is one question to be put as a result of today's business. The question is that motion 4791 in the name of Nicola Sturgeon on the Freedom of Information Amendment Scotland Bill be agreed to. Are we all agreed? Yes. We are agreed. That concludes decision time, and I now close this meeting of Parliament. Thank you.